Feeling, right, where you feel like you're just spinning your wheels, working hard but going absolutely nowhere. It is so frustrating. We've all been there. It's a super common struggle, but the good news is there's a way out. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why we get stuck and, more importantly, give you a clear, actionable path to get moving again.
So let's just start with a really direct question. Right now, in this moment, are you feeling stuck? Maybe you feel like you're just stagnating, not really making any progress towards your goals, kind of just going through the motions every day. Hey, it's an incredibly common feeling, and just recognizing it, that's the very first step.
And when you're stuck, man, it can bring up this whole cocktail of emotions. You might feel frustrated, totally disheartened, or maybe even just numb. But here's the thing to remember. Those feelings aren't just random noise. They're actually really important signals telling you that, hey, it might be time for a change. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into the two main culprits that keep us stuck: the external distraction traps and the internal mindset traps. Then, we'll get super practical with a real action plan to break free. And finally, we'll talk about the ultimate long-term fix: finding your why. All right, first up, let's talk about the distraction traps. These are all those external things, those habits that are constantly pulling your attention away from what you actually want to be doing, and they're keeping you from making any real progress.
So the first trap is one you might not even realize you're in. It's called infomania. You know what this is? It's that compulsive urge to check everything: your email, social media, the news, the second a random thought pops into your head. And it's all driven by that nagging fear of missing out on something. And here's the really sneaky part about infomania. It tricks you. It makes you feel productive. Your brain is firing, you're constantly taking in new information, but you're not actually moving the needle on the things that matter. You're confusing the feeling of being busy with actual achievement. And that is a classic recipe for staying stuck.
Now, for a distraction that's a little more, well, frankly, it's a bit scary. It's called brain drain, and it's the scientifically proven drop in your brain power that happens just from having your smartphone nearby. And look, this isn't just a hunch. This is backed by solid research. A 2017 study found that the mere presence of your phone is enough to literally drain your mental resources, leaving you with less brain power for the thing you're actually trying to focus on. And get this is the crazy part. This brain drain happens even when your phone is on silent and turned face down. A part of your brain is still actively working to not check it, and that little bit of mental effort is what robs you of your full focus. Wild, right? Okay, so we've talked about the external stuff, the distractions. But what about the traps we set for ourselves? Let's dive into the mindset traps. These are the internal thought patterns that can keep us completely paralyzed. Oh, this first one is a classic, especially if you're into self-development. It's the knowing-doing gap. You've read the books, you've watched the videos, you intellectually know what you need to do to get ahead. But for some reason, you just don't do it. So why do we fall into this trap? Well, because learning feels really good. It gives us a little hit of dopamine, makes us feel like we're making progress. But taking action? That's hard, it's uncertain, it's risky. So we get stuck in this cozy little loop of just consuming more information, which is really just a very clever form of procrastination. Okay, let's look at another mindset trap, and this one might hit a little close to home for all the high performers out there. I want you to ask yourself this question and be honest. Are you an achievement addict? Here's what that cycle looks like. You hit a goal, but before you can even take a breath and celebrate, you're already asking, okay, what's next? Taking a break feels lazy, and it triggers this wave of productivity guilt. Your entire sense of who you are gets wrapped up in what you do and what you achieve. And man, that is an exhausting way to live. And then there's this siren song of multitasking. On the surface, it seems great. It keeps things interesting, you avoid the pain of boredom. But here's what's really going on under the hood. Every single time you switch tasks, you're literally training your brain to be more distractible. You're rewarding it for losing focus, which makes it that much harder to concentrate when you really need to. Okay, we've laid out all the problems. Now for the most important part. What do we do about it? Let's walk through a super clear, simple action plan to break free from every single one of these habits. To beat infomania, it's all about building your focus muscle, one rep at a time. The next time you feel that itch, that urge to check something, just try this. Pause, acknowledge the urge, and just wait 5 minutes. This simple little act of resistance helps you break that compulsive cycle and take back control of your own attention.
Ready to finally close that knowing-doing gap? It's actually pretty simple. Stop consuming and start doing. I want you to go back to the last book you read or video you watched. Pick one, just one takeaway, and put it into practice today. Don't you dare move on to the next piece of content until you've taken that first step.
If you recognized yourself in the achievement addict, it is time to redefine your value. Actually schedule downtime into your calendar like it's a critical meeting. Spend time with people who like you, not for your resume. And you have to remind yourself over and over, you are so much more than your to-do list. And if you're a chronic multitasker, your challenge is to build your ability to do one thing at a time. So when you feel that itch to switch, just acknowledge it. Say, hello, boredom, and then resist. Tell yourself just 5 more minutes. It sounds small, but it's a powerful way to retrain your brain for deep, meaningful focus. And what about that brain drain from your phone? Well, the solution is painfully simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. You have to put your phone away. And I don't mean just flipping it over. I mean, put it completely out of sight. In a drawer, in another room, out of sight, truly out of mind. Your focus will thank you for it, I promise.
Now, all of those solutions are powerful tactics, for sure. But there's one overarching strategy that works as the ultimate prevention against ever feeling stuck in the first place. And that is finding your why.
Just think about it for a second. These habits we've been talking about, the infomania, the multitasking, the achievement addiction, they're often just symptoms of a much deeper issue, a lack of clear purpose. When you're not totally clear on your why, it's so easy to get sidetracked by distractions and busy work because you don't have that internal compass guiding you. So, what's your next move? We've covered a lot today, but remember, information without action is really just entertainment. So I want you to pick one. Which one habit that we talked about really resonated with you? And what is one small thing you can do today to start changing it? Because that, right there, is how you get unstuck. One small, intentional step at a time.